as a leader? This is something that many leaders do not talk about. And in this video, this very brief video, I want to share with you why I do not want you to be afraid to speak up as a leader. Now, you may be wondering, well, I'm a leader, so I know that there's off politics and there's dynamics that I need to manage, and I have to be able to really work with in the wonderful world of leadership. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you just very quickly why you should not be afraid to speak up for yourself as a leader. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail on this a little bit later this evening in my live. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you want to learn more about that. We'll talk a bit more about it this evening. Today is a bit shorter live because it is raining outside and I have to be really careful. So I want to say hello to Pratik Galatkar 1011. Hello and welcome, friend. How you doing today? Good to see you as always. So what happens a lot of times when we are in leadership roles, depending on the level of leadership role that you're in, we know a lot more than the average, I would say, worker or employee may know. You may be a business owner and you're working with other partners, or you may be someone that works in a business within an organization and you're trying to learn as much as you can, but you just know the back end. And that's one thing that people don't understand, is that there's a part of leadership that many people don't know about. And if you're a leader, sometimes you're a bit more hesitant to speak up and say something because you know the people and how they communicate on the back end of things. So Pratik Galatkar 1011 says, I'm doing good. How about you? I'm doing well today. Today is a very brief live, only because it's raining outside and I have to be real careful. So I'm going to go more into detail on this evening for sure. But I want to at least get the conversation started so we have something to talk about. All right, we have Bishop Burton. Hello, good morning, Bishop. How are you doing today? Bishop Burton says, good morning, my dear sister, Bishop Burton. Yes, good morning, Bishop. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know if any one of you have ever been concerned about speaking up as a leader. It happens, and oftentimes, as I was mentioning, leaders, we know a lot more. We know a lot of the backstory that happens with people, and we know the office politics that occur that people don't know about. And sometimes it makes us a bit more timid to say something as leaders because we just we know the backlash, so to speak, in terms of what will happen. But I encourage you to speak up as a leader. There's times when there are situations that are going to happen that you as a leader are going to find to be perhaps very contentious, unethical, and just simply not right. And there's so many times where leaders become very afraid to speak up and they don't say anything. And what happens is those opportunities, believe it or not, are time for you to build your character. Because if you can speak up when something is wrong, then you are the person that will speak up when something is wrong. There's a lot of times, and you see a lot of things on the news where people may have known that things were wrong and they were leaders and they said nothing. And ultimately what comes out of those situations is that at some point in time, it will come up that you knew about it. At some point, you may not know about it, but people will find out that you knew about this situation and you did not speak up about it. And then that makes you as a leader not look like a leader. And if you're subscribed to my channel or follow my content here, of course, we talk a lot about advanced level communication skills. I want you to communicate at a higher level than your peers and to master confident and concise communication under pressure. However, I have been a leader for over 20 years in different senior leadership roles as a C-suite executive, as a director and a manager, and I've dealt with congressional leaders also. And I do understand that there's a very deep appreciation that I have as a leader because I've been through some very wonderful situations. I've been through some really bad ones too. So for those of you who are watching, welcome. Hope you all are doing well today. Let me know what part of the big beautiful world you are joining from today, and if you've ever worried about speaking up as a leader. As I was mentioning, this is a very brief live. We're going to go into a lot more detail on this evening, but the one thing I want you to take away from this portion of the live today is to understand that as leaders, we know a lot more than people think that we do. We know a lot. And if you do not say something when things are going out of control, there will come a point in time where things will come up and people will know that you knew about it, you didn't say anything, and it will make you look a bit more not as a leader as you want to be. As I mentioned, look at things that happen in the world today. And this is for those of you who just joined. There's a lot of things happening in the world today where leaders knew about situations happening and they said nothing. And now it's coming out that they knew about it and they should have said something. So Pratik Galakar 1011 says, I want to ask you about this thing. Okay, go ahead, Pratik. Let's see that some people are not confident about asking their problem. Oh, just let me see this one more time. Some people are not confident about asking their problems. Are you mentioning about asking about or talking about their problems? Is that, I think that's what you're referring to? Just clarify me, because I am driving and it is raining and I want to make sure I got this, I have your question answered. But I believe that's what you're saying. Sometimes, and if I'm not correct, Pratik, in terms of what you're asking, let me know and I will definitely clarify it really quickly. Sometimes what happens when we are in leadership roles and we have a challenge or we have a problem, there's a balance between maintaining your presence and being very vulnerable. And it depends on what your topic is and what you have going on in terms of what you say, because sometimes people are just not confident about talking about themselves and they're just not confident about saying what they need to say because they don't want to tell their personal business. I personally am just like that. I am just like that. When I was in senior leadership roles, I wouldn't tell my personal business like that, and I don't encourage you to do that either. However, that doesn't mean you can't talk about what's going on in a way that doesn't expose yourself or tell your personal business. The way you do that is to become more confident. So let me see what Pratik says, because I want to make sure I answer his question before I finish up. People want to take a stand for them, but they cannot express words because they lack the confidence. Okay, the one question, and Pratik, thank you so much for that. That's a very good question, by the way. So for those of you who are live or watching the replay, Pratik is saying specifically, sometimes people don't take a stand for things because they simply don't have the confidence to do it, or they lack the confidence to do it. Well, the first thing I would say to you in situations like that is to think of it this way. What is it going to cost you if you say nothing? That's the first question I'd ask. What is it going to cost you to say nothing? And if it's going to cost your sanity, if it's going to cost your money, if it's going to cost your peace of mind, then is that cost worth it? Is it worth it for you not to say anything? That's what I would do. If you feel not confident about it, think about what is it going to cost you to not say anything. And hopefully that cost is a heavier weight for you to bear. Therefore, that will give you some incentive to say something, Do not be the person that does not say anything. Now, Pratik, I can go into a lot more detail on this later this evening for you. And if you join live, of course, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll do something, definitely watch the replay. But I do believe confidence is a big factor on it. But one of the things, just to get you in a place of thinking about it, is to really think about the cost. What is it going to cost you to not say anything? And sometimes that cost is too much of a cost to bear. And if it is too much of a cost to bear, then this will give you at least if you're feeling not confident to actually verbally say something, that's okay. For those of you who are watching, that's why you subscribe to my channel. I will help you be able to say what you need to say when you don't feel confident to say it. But sometimes the cost is not worth it. It's not worth your peace. It's not worth your sanity. It's just not worth it. So if you like this information, and Pratik Galakar 1011 says, yes, definitely, absolutely, Pratik. And it's a really good topic that you mentioned. If you like this information, this is a shorter live, and I typically go a little bit longer, but it is raining outside. But I do want to let you know, we'll go into more detail on this a little bit later this evening. Feel free to join me live later this evening, and we'll talk a bit more about being able to speak up for yourself as a leader. In the interim, I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. There's a lot of videos here on my channel that will help you be able to get to that next level on your journey, especially if you're having a hard time speaking up as a leader. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.